guys, and welcome to my YouTube video. Today I have no makeup, it's sunny outside and I have my crisps to eat. For those of you who have just started to watch, I am Sophie. My debut novel will be released this year, as I keep repeating. I'm really excited and I can't wait. I'm doing a series of interviews with authors, writers, artists, anybody that has a message to get out there. Now, I have done 2 episodes so far. One with Brandon Moore and the other one with Victoria McCombs. They're both on Instagram and they both got YouTube videos on my channel, so if you want to watch those then just click back and have a look. Now this is my 3rd episode and it's with Leaf. Leaf is on Instagram as the A-Leaf Himes. Today I'm interviewing her about the amazing collab she's doing. As most of you know, it's May, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Now Leaf is here to explain what she's doing for that this month, and hoping that this video will allow everybody to join on in with her, and if you've suffered mental health at all then it's something good for you to get involved in. Hi Leaf, thank you for joining me. I know we've had a nightmare trying to get this video done, but I am really excited to start this, so yeah, let's crack on. Leaf, can you tell us what you're doing for it? What are you doing for Mental Health Awareness Month?
Yeah, I would love to share that. So first of all, I would like to thank you for giving us a platform to share this. It's a very important project to us. The purpose is to give authors and writers and really anyone with who has experience with mental illness the opportunity to share their story, their experience with mental illness, and their hope and fighting, their story of fighting for mental health. And the benefit and the other side of it is to raise money for the Brain and Behavioral Research. The other side of it is to raise money for Brain and Behavioral Research Foundation.
It sounds absolutely amazing. Now, what sort of material are you looking for? Do you want already published authors? Do you want writers that are trying to become published? Or is it just anybody that has suffered with mental health that can be involved?
As far as material goes, we are wanting fictional short stories and poetry, 3,000 words or less, and it doesn't have to be from any published author or even someone who considers themselves a writer. We are just looking for people who have struggled with mental illness, who are fighting for their mental health, who are doing what they can and hoping for the best. So it can be someone who's published, someone who's not, just about anybody can at least submit. That's not a guarantee that they will be published, but they can submit their work and we will decide on who can be included.
So guys, you heard the lady. Anybody can apply, anybody can submit their story. You don't have to be a writer, you don't have to be a published author. Anybody at all can submit it, so please join on in because it's an amazing thing to be doing. So for those of you who are still watching at this point, submissions are from August the 1st up until September the 15th. How do you decide who gets picked?
Yeah, the kickoff had been May 1st and there wasn't anything like super special. It was just the day we decided that we were going to start like plastering all over Facebook that we're doing this project. I personally am spamming my own account, but we have a rotation in terms of like who posts when, and that's about it. We've considered doing like live sprints and interviews, those sorts of things. So if anybody's interested in that, definitely contact me, and we can work something out. So I'm looking forward to something along those lines. We actually have 5 people on our team to allow for fair decision making in terms of whose work is published, and so there's not a huge process. It's based on who is able to stay within the confines of capturing how frustrating and difficult mental health can be, while allowing for hope and uplifting, kind of. We don't want to stick with all of the dark stuff, because then it becomes difficult to read. We want it to be an inspiring and hopeful anthology of work, in order to inspire those who struggle with mental health. Let them know, hey, you're not alone in the struggle, and there's always help, and you can do this. You can beat this. So, or at least live with it, in a positive way, I guess.
What advice would you give to those who are suffering with mental health, and how much does this mean to you?
This is a complicated question, or not question, but answer, in that there's so much advice to give, because every diagnosis is completely different. Our diagnosis is completely different. So that being said, generally I will start off by referring people to the book The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. All of her work thus far has been phenomenal, and I highly, highly recommend all of her books. I haven't read Dare to Lead yet, so I can't actually recommend that one, but all of the other ones I stand 100% behind. They have been huge in my own personal growth, so I highly recommend all of those. I recommend trying out a few different therapists. It can be very difficult finding therapists, someone who understands you or makes you feel understood and heard, someone who basically fits your needs without pandering to you, because you do need to have that push without feeling like you're being beat up, so it can be a lengthy process. A lot of therapists actually will offer the first session for free as a consultation, to just see if it's a good fit. And if they don't bother with them. Honestly, unless your insurance is going to cover them 100%. The other part is that a lot of people can't afford therapy. There are free counseling. There is free counseling available. It's typically through churches and that sort of thing, which can be difficult and frustrating, because not everybody wants to have, dogma thrown at them. Unfortunately, that's kind of where things are limited, unless you can find a secular program that offers that as well. So those are my 2 big ones. I also highly recommend at least trying medication. It can take a while, though. It took me probably 2 years to figure out my very first medication and find the right level. And then I ended up having to switch, and it's a process, and it's a long, difficult process. And it's just a lot of being patient. We want we want the instant answers. We want things fixed yesterday. I am hugely guilty of that. And the big thing is just being patient, taking the baby steps and the small steps, and trying everything. If you really want mental health, you've got to try everything. it's kind of the thermometer almost of whether you truly want mental health, want to gain mental health. So, yeah, those are my big tips, I suppose. I don't know if they're entirely helpful. Again, it's very difficult to give advice in terms of what is going to be specifically helpful. And that's why therapy and, psychiatrists and such are so important to work with. So, and the other part too is diagnoses are a lot of times not correct. You have to be careful and not don't identify yourself as the label. You identify your toolbox by that label. So for instance, I have borderline personality disorder. My DBT handbook is my borderline personality disorder toolbox. So there you go.
I completely understand. I've suffered mental health myself, depression and anxiety. Those of you who've got me on Instagram, you'll know what's happened. I have recently shared the story to you all. Now, for those of you who are suffering with mental health, I would reach out. Never be alone. Never feel like you're alone. And I think those tips that Leaf have just given you are very good tips. Moving on. Is there anything else, Leaf, that you're currently working on?
Yeah, I have a couple different things I'm working on, a couple different works in progress, both of which are novels. And as much as I want to just focus on one at the moment, the other one keeps poking around in my brain, and I'm just like, oh, fine. So I have got those going on.
Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you're able to find time?
I kind of just have to shoot from the hip. I am not really good with repetition and scheduled things. I was in school because, you have to go. But as an adult, I'm horrible at schedules. And I'm good at being on time to things for the most part. But as far as schedules go, I just no. I'm horrible with schedules. So, I don't really set aside a specific amount of time or a specific time of day to do that. I'm also not really dedicating a lot of my energy to writing at this particular moment because I've got so many other projects going on. So those are on hold for the time being. I kind of mull them over while I'm doing other things, but that's about it. So.
What genre do you write in, Leaf?
I hate the genre question. I think it's young adult that I write in. I don't really know. I recently found out that urban fantasy is a thing, and I kind of think that that's my jam. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think in terms of genre. I think in terms of the story, and I go from there. Just because thinking in genre feels like pigeonholing myself, and I don't like doing that. Boxes make me claustrophobic. So I just write the story, and I'll let other people decide what genre it is and go from there, I guess. So
thank you so much for doing this. Would you like to add anything else to those watching today?
Thank you again for giving us a platform. This is a huge deal for us, where we really just want to support people and give people a platform for their own sakes and their own writing. So as far as anything else to add, I would like to add that we're aiming to publish on World Mental Health Day, which is October 10th, 2019. And we're really looking forward to kind of spreading out the awareness, because that's the one thing about Awareness Month or Awareness Day. It's not something you need to be aware of just for a little bit. there's a lot to be aware of, which can be exhausting, but like, I feel like it's less of an awareness month and more of an educational month. But yeah, so just stay positive. Like, definitely, if you're struggling, definitely grieve what's happening and feel your emotions, but give them the chance to leave. Like, your emotions are not, like, they don't want to stay. They want to come and be there with you through whatever it is that you are dealing with. And then they want to move on so that other emotions can come in. So just think of it in terms of they're just visiting, they're guests. And, you know, if you're having a particularly hard time, like, not letting go of a particular emotion, find help, like, find resources. There's so many resources out there. And if you need help finding resources, hit me up. I am more than welcome to point you in in different directions for different resources. So thank you again.
No, thank you, Leaf. That's amazing. Everything that you've just told us is amazing, and I can't wait to see the outcome of this book. Also, if you want to follow Leaf on Instagram, go give her a check out. Get in touch with her if you want to join in with the mental health awareness fiction writing. If you're all for supporting those who go through mental health, this is a brilliant thing to be involved with. It's so thoughtful. I'm sure a lot of you have your own demons that you fight. I know I do, and so don't miss out and get in touch with her. I honestly can't stress enough how exciting this is, and I'm so happy, Leaf, to have had you on this interview series. Thank you. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in on Wednesday. Episode 4 of this series will be out with Alyssa Jenkins. Thanks, guys. Bye.